Poland has said no to voluntarily being conquered. This is something the United States should pay close attention to. I've seen people criticize videos like this online. It's a video of a photogenic, videogenic young woman in Poland celebrating an election there. I've seen this paraded about as white supremacy, examples of white nationalism, etc., that the Poles simply don't want people of color coming there. I've never been to Poland. I don't know the Polish people. I can't speak on behalf of the Polish people, but I know this. Long ago, I stopped listening to claims of white supremacy or white nationalism when it comes from the left, because they're the practitioners of at least a cold race war, if not pushers of a hot race war, and I would say it's the latter. They knew what they were doing with Black Lives Matter Incorporated. They knew what they were doing when they excused riots and burning downs of cities and taking the lives of cops. They knew what they were doing. They wanted this race war. So I don't know the Polish heart. I know this. There's a lot of people who have no racial animus at all, who actually enjoy other cultures, who make a habit of seeking them out, trying to find great places in your town where you can go experience Islamic culture as something you can grow to understand, not agree with. We can't cooperate with radical Islam, and most Islam is radical, but we can go experience the people and get to know them and form a heart of love for them, just like we can go and experience other cultures. I know plenty of people with that point of view who do not want mass, uncontrolled immigration because it is being used as a tool to conquer nations. And some of the people who are being used that way are themselves victims, no longer in their homeland, but in a land they didn't even really want to be in. They've just been redistributed. Here's this video coming out of Poland.
I am now in Poland, in Warsaw inauguration, where Nawrocki just got inaugurated, and look at these masses. Look at all these flags. People are celebrating that they have won, they have their sovereignty, they have their chosen leader. This is a win, not just for Poland, but for the rest of Europe. The deep state.
The deep state lost. The candidate ran on national sovereignty, protecting borders, family values, and being pro-Christian. If you want to call that white nationalism or Christian nationalism, have at it. What I see it as is a nation that says we are not going to be conquered voluntarily. And Poland has a history of having been conquered, by the way, by white conquerors. The Russians, when they took over Poland for a short time, they didn't turn into black hordes, the people who want the race war would say. On the other hand, England, that had been the world's largest army, had been the most impressive army, the biggest empire, until they ran into some people named Thomas Jefferson and Sam Adams, etc., George Washington and the type. And we took them down several notches and eventually down a lot of notches, but they were still a very meaningful country. Still able to project a lot of power, but they're bankrupting themselves. They're bankrupting themselves culturally and they're bankrupting themselves financially. Do not allow the current state of the world, all of this unrest, to bankrupt you. Don't do it. And do not let complacency convince you that you've got it all handled in terms of retirement. I'm going to give you an opportunity to have 3 free conversations with my friend Zach Abraham. He's the Chief Investment Officer, Bulwark Capital Management. He'll talk to you one time to see if you guys like each other, a second time to find out what your goals for retirement are, and are they goals or are they hopes, and a third time to present to you a plan if he thinks he can help you retire with more money, knowing how much money you'll have every single month throughout retirement. This is absolutely free, no obligation. Just go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com and go find out if you're on track for retirement or way off track. Knowyourriskpodcast.com. Investment advisory services officer, Trek Financial LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25-252. There's a name contest that they run in England. I guess they do this in other countries. The number one name for boys and girls. The number one name for women, girls in the UK. It shouldn't be a surprise. It's Olivia. Beautiful name. The number one name for boys in the UK is Muhammad. I guess it's a pretty name. It's also connected to a religion that is using immigration as a weapon. I'm not saying it. They are. This is in the Quran. They're saying it. They're describing it this way. And there is absolutely no problem saying, man, I want to go find a good Muslim community center where I can get to know people. I want to go experience their art and their culture and the music. I would like to get to know them. I'd like to be enriched by the differences. And saying, what's happening in the UK in this mass uncontrolled immigration is the importing not just of human beings and their bodies, but their attitudes. And many of the people who have been imported into the UK en masse do not care for Britain. They don't care for the policies. They don't care for the governing process. They don't care for the freedoms. They don't care for the culture. They want it to be flipped and changed. And the British powers, the bosses of Britain, seem to agree with this. Why? Maybe it's a good old-fashioned thing. Maybe it's not even based in religion. Maybe it's simply divide and conquer. Or maybe the conquering has happened somewhere in the souls of the people who are the bosses of Britain.